folks, and welcome to Saturday night here at about 9. What time is it? About 9:50. All right, so 9:58, 9:59 actually. Here on March 9th, 2024, and today marks Saturday, which means gear change show time. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another one of these. I did not record one last week or the week before. Actually, I did. Well, actually, no. I actually did the Nightcast, which got 47 views. So I'm going off to a better start in March than I did in January. So, and well, February's probably February. Well, I'm getting off to a better start than I did in February. So, thought I'd keep rolling and keep this going. So, yeah, you guys know during the gear change show, I usually talk about some car related or motorsports related theme that you guys tend to want to talk about. I want to talk about the pressing question on everybody's mind right now. One team dominating, or one team just winning too many titles and not letting other teams have a chance. And dynasties that did really good for a stretch. I can think of many. I can think of many in sports. I can think of unprecedented levels. I can think of the Steelers in the 70s. I can think of Green Bay at one. No, not Green Bay, but Patriots. The Montreal Canadiens and at the NHL, the Yankees and baseball, of course, having 27 championships in there and thereabouts. But referring to the Yankees, I think the Canadiens, the Montreal Brigade really know how to play their hockey. I think they have. Forget how many world championships they have. I think it's like 20 something, like 24, 25, 26. I think it's right around what the Yankees have. So, as I said, the Canucks, the Canadians really know how to play their hockey. So, in Montreal. So, yeah, and stuff like that. And also, Rick Hendrick and, Rick Hendrick, not Rick Hendrick, but Dale Earnhardt and NASCAR and Jimmy Johnson in NASCAR as well. We can say that to, guys like AJ Foyt and stuff, AJ Foyt, Bobby Unser, not Bobby Unser, Al Unser and stuff like that. Guys who just won a lot of stuff. We can talk about Roger Penske dominating everything and stuff like that. But they all did. But the thing is, though, they all did their own time of kind of dominating their sport in different eras. Jimmy kind of won all of his cup titles in like a span of like 10 years, I think it was, or 10 to 15 years. And I think Earnhardt took forever and a day. Earnhardt took almost his entire career to win 7. So, we could, we can talk about Schumacher, because we're going to talk about F1 today anyway. We're going to talk about Schumacher winning all those titles between 1995 and 2004, like a 9-year period. But just crushing it along the way, Schumi. But we kind of have to talk, and Vettel for a bitch, but we have to talk about Lewis Hamilton, obviously, too. and Max Verstappen, and is one team. The question I have for everybody today is one team winning everything a good thing or bad thing? Some people think it's a good thing because it gives rivals something to aim for, but it's also a bad thing because it means this one person is going to win it, and you know. For those of you who we all had to stick through the turbo hybrid, the first part of the turbo hybrid era, where Lewis Hamilton was basically like, "Oh, hey, all right, boys, we're gonna set off. We're gonna go do a couple of pit stops, change tires, and then we're gonna go back out, and then we're gonna win the Grand Prix." And they did that for the best part of, and you know, they 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Well, they lost the title in 21. So Hamilton, you know, won the 7 titles. He's obviously got 90 wins. But a lot of people are like, oh, this is so boring. I know Verstappen won a couple races in here on kind of en route to his dominance now. And a lot of people were like, oh, Max Verstappen's not going to do anything. Lewis Hamilton's just going to do it, or he's just going to retire because he's going to get bored. You know, having Verstappen kind of win everything, you know, it means Lewis is going to stay. It means Lewis Hamilton is going to stay. Now, don't get me wrong, Lewis, probably one of the greatest drivers of our time, over to Schumacher, and he's up there with Schumacher, Prost, Senna, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure that Lewis Hamilton was actually a very big fan of Ayrton Senna. Most of the modern era current world champions took after him anyway. So, you know, Hamilton's a great driver, and and you know, that's motivation for him to stay in the sport. Because if he kept dominating, he may have left. And now that Red Bull has sort of kind of turned everybody on their heads the last 3 years, you know, it's kind of been tough. It's kind of tough to not have a team win, and you know, and team win, stuff like that. Now, it's a good thing because, you know, I say it's a good thing because it gives teams something to aim for, but it's also bad because it discourages teams from spending money. They're like, because teams around the grid will be like, oh, so why are we spending $15 million or $200 million or whatever much it takes to build a Formula One car these days? I think it's I think it's like $1 billion or something like that for a good team, or a couple million for low end teams and stuff like that. And teams just sit there and like, why are we investing billions of dollars when we know we're not going to win? And some competitors will say, well, we're competing, we win, we get points, and we'll stay, and that's kind of our thing. It's just nice to have, you know, like having the Haas team on the grid. It's kind of a gimmick. They really haven't won too many races. I mean, they haven't won a damn thing. They came on the podium once, but I don't think they've ever won. And Gene Haas was basically... not Carl Haas. Carl Haas and Gene Haas are two different entities. Carl Haas was an IndyCar guy. Gene Haas is a Gene Haas is a completely different. He's NASCAR and stuff like that. He's not IndyCar or anything. He just two different entities and stuff like that. So never. Carl Haas was he was bold. He was like, oh, I want people who just got to stop playing around, and these rich European playboys are gonna have to up their game, and Haas hasn't done anything since they've entered the grid in like 2016, 2017. So they really haven't done much to really help out the situation of competitors actually being competitive and stuff like that. So, you know, it keeps people hungry for competition and to improve their car and to come along with something better. I remember back in the early to mid 2000s, Corvette winning just about everything in competition. And then I think it was in 2004 where Corvette looked like it was just going to dominate, and it was just dominating. Even the pro driver Ferraris couldn't even take it down. And that's when Aston Martin kind of came in and said, well, we're going to stop your little run of championships and stuff like that, and we're going to do that. Now, they didn't challenge Corvette until seriously until 2006, 2007, but it kind of put a stranglehold. It kind of put a end to the stranglehold of the big yellow bellowy V8 at the front of the GT fields and stuff like that, and just racing to attrition. And the cars had to be pushed to do their thing, especially over in America where we actually saw the 2000. I remember watching the 2006 battle, that going back and forth, and that actually felt good because now the Corvette could compete against somebody and they could have a good rivalry with them. It's another good thing about domination. You're always going to find a rival. You're always going to find somebody that you're always going to find some guy or somebody or some team or some group that you're going to piss off, and then you're going to obviously create a competition, and that's how rivalries begin. Audi dominated sports car racing. Everybody's like, oh, Audi's going to win another one. Audi's going to win another sports car race. I remember when people watched the 1999 Le Mans, and then everybody was like, oh, hopefully Toyota wins and ends the German juggernaut. Never happened. It wouldn't happen for another 20 years. So, 1999. It wouldn't happen for like another 19 years. So, and that would be 2018 when they finally didn't blow a turbocharger connector, hose connector rod thing that they did, 5 cent part, I remember Audi. Audi was dominating. I remember 2000, 2001, 2002, 2004. And then the governing body slowed them down. Still not enough. Pescarolo came in, tried to win. Still wasn't enough. 2006, they tried to speed the Pescarolos up. Couldn't do much. And then Peugeot comes in 2007. Actually gives them a decent fight. And then 2008 drives them to the absolute edge. And actually 2009 actually outperformed them and actually took the crown away. Le Mans. So it kind of a lot of people, only people can only see that domination. They're like, oh, we're tired of it. And then eventually in 2012, obviously Toyota was like, well, we want to get on. Well, Toyota was like, oh, we want to get on this, and they were like, oh, we got to beat the Japanese, we got to beat the Germans. And it was great to see Toyota win. Unfortunately, Toyota started winning too much, so people were getting pissed, although Ferrari ended that streak last year. I don't know if they're going to continue it this year. I'm hoping one of the other manufacturers like Peugeot steps up and wins it, or maybe Cadillac, or maybe Porsche actually wins another one. Maybe Porsche will win number 19 or 20, whatever. How many overall wins they had? You just bumbled my words right there. Sorry about that. But like 19, I said the Porsche. I said Porsche 1819, and then I'm like, yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, domination isn't too bad because it inspires rivals and to do better, and competitors to do better, and to keep the sport alive, because then they have to keep changing the regulations. Like they had to change, like the only reason why they changed the regulations like halfway through the turbo era or twice through the turbo era is because they're like, we don't want Mercedes-Benz dominating again, and we know what it's like when they stop doing well. And Mercedes was only taking off its role a little bit in 2017. There started to be chinks in the armor, but it didn't really start blowing apart until 2001 when Verstappen actually stepped up and won the world title by like 2 points. Even though there was a controversial start start and stop at the beginning of the last race at Jeddah, and stuff like that. Yeah, it was quite the quite the battle, and seeing Max win 21, 22, 23, and possibly 24 now, unless the Ferraris can come up with something, or Mercedes can climb back up to the top, because I think the reason why, and that's the reason why Hamilton's moving, because he knows that Mercedes doesn't have anything anymore. He's just going to move. Vettel did the same thing when Red Bull started doing piss poor, and they went to Ferrari, and he won a couple of races against Hamilton, but Hamilton had kept dominating and stuff like that. And we just, Nico Rosberg won one world title and he quit after that in 2016. But yeah, that's a story for another day. But yeah, to praise the original question, is domination. The other thing about one team winning is it actually makes it interesting to see whether the teams will actually respond, and how long it takes, how many years, how many decades it takes for one team to figure out what they're going to do, and what innovations they had to come up with. And one of those things was in 2012 was the hybrid from Toyota, and Toyota was like, yeah, we're going to need a little bit more oomph to beat these diesels. We're going to need something a little bit more. It kind of sparks innovation. It kind of sparks change a little bit. It's also sparked the ACO and the FIA and all these other championships to change their regulations to make competition better, and to make make cars easier, and also change the regulations so that the cars aren't as expensive to buy, because that's the one thing that domination kind of does. What it does is it kind of changes everybody's mindset and says, oh, hey, we need to lessen costs because we're spending too much catching whoever we're trying to face these days. They've had to change the regulations in NASCAR a couple of times, sports cars a couple of times. Like, they've had to do DPIs and stuff like that, because I remember when the Daytona prototypes ended up running in 2014, I remember that the LMP2s wouldn't be doing it, and then the LMP2s had to get a boost, and then the DPIs, and then eventually everybody's like, oh, and NASCAR was like, oh, yeah, you European guys are a bunch of crybabies, we actually have to do your stuff now. And that's how we got the DPI category, and we got some interesting racing. We got some real GTB style, real pre-GTB style stuff, and now we have GTB back, so it's kind of evolved. Now we got hybrids in the race cars now that sound like warp drives when they come off the corners. I remember going to Watkins Glen and stuff like that, and as a fan, you get to see none of that. When you see things dominate, things change, you get to see different experiences as a fan. I think it's good for the fans to see different things, and the other thing is, if you're bored watching the front, you can watch them. You can watch the battles in some other class, or you can watch the other battles in the middle of the field. You can watch the bottom feeders just dice it out and hit each other and clang into each other, and actually do some rear racing while the lead guy with 1,000 horsepower is like, oh, I'm gonna stretch my gap up to 2 minutes. I'm going to tell my engineer that my car's running fine. I'm going to take a pit stop. Okay, both 4 tires. Everything's all good. Meanwhile, in the back of the pack, yeah, because you can see in the commentary these days. Same commentary back in the turbo hybrid era. Oh, Lewis Hamilton has pulled out a 2-minute lead. We're not going to come back to this because we know he's not going to be up front. Meanwhile, they switch to a Ferrari and a McLaren going at it, and like, oh, they go side by side to the right hand, blah, 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 blah. That's always fun to watch that. So, and stuff like that. So, for the fan, it's easy to do that. I mean, you can bore yourself with other things. I mean, you can walk around the track, learn about the track and stuff like that. And, but when you're watching it on television, it's kind of hard it's kind of hard to do. So it's kind of like you can't kind of. I mean, when we went to Watkins Glen last year, it was kind of fun that because when you watch it on TV, you really can't. The only way you can watch around the track is if they change the camera positions, or if they do some infield, or they do some fan walk grandstand thing, and they have Rutledge Wood and NASCAR say, "Oh, hey guys, blah 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 blah," and he goes, "Hey guys, I'm having such a fun time," fun time, and he goes, "I said these fans are really hyped up about Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Kyle Larson, blah 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 blah," and stuff like that. You can do that when you're you can do that when you go to the track. When you go to the track, I mean, what was funny when we went to the track last year is there was actually a little bit of a rock concert going on, and they had hot dogs and drinks and stuff like that. That stuff you don't really get to do. You're just when I watched the Indy 500 last year, if you're walking around, you're experiencing history. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in my TV room last year. Sitting in my TV room, I remember ordering a whiskey, a Jack Daniel's whiskey bacon burger and some fries and some mozzarella sticks and a charged drink and stuff like that. And just stuffing that all down while watching Joseph Newgarden try to win the Indy 500 last year versus me walking around and actually experiencing it, burning calories at least while I'm eating. It's just like anything else. You can't really get that. You can really get that sense when you're at the track and stuff like that. And watching one team dominate all the time kind of sucks when you're on TV. But you kind of don't notice at the racetrack because you really don't care about it. You're taking the spectacle at the racetrack. It's just so much to take in. You don't care about the race. You don't care just about the race. You care about the atmosphere. Like the cars buzzing around you at 160, 170 miles an hour, and all different classes and stuff like that. I've never been to an F1 race. One of these years I want to go to one. They're a bit expensive, and if I did go to one, it would probably be the one in Miami. Probably, I don't know about the one in Vegas. Vegas, that kind of be a little weird at midnight. So the one in Miami might be the one in Miami might be a good idea. Sorry, tongue twister right here. God, I was tongue twisted as talking to a school. I'm as tongue twisted as a schoolboy talking to a girl for the first time. Jeez, I'm this bad. I haven't been this bad since I was talking April years ago. Damn, I was pretty tongue-tied with that one. Tongue-tied like I was skipping my words like a nervous schoolboy when talking to his first girl or his first crush back then. So yeah, now we got that out of the way. Certain interest confirmed, right? All right. But yeah, it's it's just like anything else, I just want to reiterate, there's many reasons why domination's good and why one team winning is good, and then why maybe one team winning all the time is kind of bad and maybe kind of would be good. I think Max Verstappen was quoted as saying the last 2 years, so like, I want some competition. I was like, I want to keep racing, but I want competition. Like, I don't mind winning, but I want more championships, but I want competition. Like, kind of, he goes, like, it kind of feels empty, he goes, and sort of like that. So, and with the way Red Bull is having a lot of drama right now, I don't know how much longer that's going to go on, but yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to do this one to do. I'll pick this one up tomorrow. I'll probably shoot one early tomorrow. Monday I have a doctor's appointment, so I'll do the vlog at night, and then we'll see what goes on there. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you enjoyed the Gear Change Show. This is episode 520, and I think this is 20 something overall. But I will catch you guys later. Peace out, everybody, and for those of you who watch IndyCar and enjoy the St. Pete Grand Prix tomorrow. I will definitely be watching the whole thing. Maybe not 100 laps, but I'm definitely going to catch the start. So I'll catch you guys, and I'll give you guys a kind of my synopsis. I'm going to watch the race, but I'll give you guys my synopsis of what I thought about it, and then I'm going to watch the NASCAR race. I'm not going to talk about the Formula One race because I didn't watch it. I watched highlights, and there was some good battles going on and stuff like that. But Max Verstappen won. What was very interesting was the new kid Beerman, who was Bearman, was racing for Ferrari. Actually finished in the points in his debut. I think he's the youngest. Is he the youngest points finisher? I think he's tied for the youngest person to score points in Formula One. So, for the first time in ever, Ferrari, for the first time in, I think for the first time in maybe ages, or maybe the first, Ferrari actually has 3 drivers with points in the top 10. And top 10, that's never, that's interesting, to say the least. But yeah, I'll give you my thoughts on the St. Pete Grand Prix and then the NASCAR race tomorrow. I don't know where it is, but I'll give you my thoughts on the St. Pete Grand Prix. I'm going to watch it on Peacock up here in on the TV, so I can watch the whole darn thing, and I don't have to go downstairs to watch it. So I think it's going to be on Peacock. So I will catch you guys later, and I hope you guys enjoyed my talk about his one make or domination, one make or one person or domination of motorsport, good or bad. So for those of you, and if you guys want to comment on this video down below, you guys can do it. And if you guys like this, give it a thumbs up, because I definitely want to produce more of these, and I definitely want to get out a lot of episodes this year. So we're going to start kicking things off a little bit. I think I got off to a very slow start, but we're going to start rolling things from here on in. So, and I'm going to keep myself to it. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow for my thoughts on the St. Pete Grand Prix, and then maybe the NASCAR race at night. So I will see you guys later. Peace out.